Hello everyone, and welcome to an SAP Concur conversation. I'm really lucky to have Chris Juneau with me today. You're always in the US, but you made it over to the UK.
Absolutely.
Really glad to have you.
Great to be here.
We've known each other, I think, for around 10 years.
Absolutely.
In your various roles and my various roles. And during those 10 years, so much has changed in the world, but also in our travel expense and invoice world.
Sure.
Before we get going, can you tell everyone a little bit about yourself and what your role is here at Concur?
Yeah, I've been SAP Concur now 22 years. Much of that time working outside of the US, expanding across Europe, and also opening up markets across Asia Pacific. So now I head up market strategy for SAP Concur.
Awesome. So Chris, what's top of mind for you? What is the big changes that you've seen in our industry right now?
I think what I see in our industry is acceleration, and I call it accelerated innovation, AKA AI. Of course, everyone's talking about AI. We wouldn't be sitting here if we weren't going to talk about AI.
True.
And so forth. So that is really accelerating first expectations in terms from an employee experience, but also expectations of what technology should be doing on behalf of organizations. So the bar is now rising higher for what we do from a travel expense and invoice automation perspective.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And I think a number of the solutions that we have been included within our general product portfolio
That's right.
is really interesting. Can you just touch on a couple of those?
Sure, happy to. So we've been doing, as you know, Alistair, we've been infusing our technology and our services with AI for over 10 plus years. You know, we first embarked on it because we could not hire auditors fast enough to audit expense reports on behalf of our customers. So we decided, well, how can we make it smarter? So we need less people. And not because we wanted to eliminate people, but more that AI and machine learning is great at looking for patterns and large amounts of data. So we started with the audit, but you know, we continue to take that forward. Expense It, one of my favorite solutions that we have. Take a picture of your receipt, it automatically populates the expense claim, catches the proper expense type, and also the currency, proper date format if it's in a European date format versus a US date format. And what's fascinating is the user experience, because on average, employees that do not use Expense It have expense reports returned 14.1% of the time.
Yeah.
But employees that do use Expense It have an expense report returned 1.2% of the time. So what happens? The employee is not dealing with, oh, I've got an expense report returned, I need to pay my bill, you know, what did I get wrong? With Expense It, it's helping. Second, the manager not having to review it again, and everybody's happy, saving everybody time, but also delivering incredible experience for employees.
Yeah, and I think that's the key phrase there, the brilliant experience for employees.
That's right.
Because a lot of the time, yes, we use AI in our daily lives, it's on our phones, it's everywhere. But in the business world, the employee, they shouldn't really know that they're using it.
That's right. No, it should be ubiquitous.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be threatening. And also, I see we're on the verge of, and we see companies, we're meeting with many companies today here at Fusion, there's always this balance of compliance with user experience. And many times when I travel, someone will see my luggage tag with the Concur logo on it and say, oh, I love Concur. Then other times, I'll say, oh, see my luggage tag? Oh, Concur is challenging. But when I ask them about it, I recognize their company is very compliance centric, so they have tons of audit rules, multiple approvals, and so forth. And the companies that love Concur is like, oh, I just take a picture, I go, my manager doesn't even approve it. The moral of the story is I think we're on the verge of an opportunity to break the relationship between compliance and user experience, that we can, with AI and machine learning, drive greater compliance while also delivering a greater user experience.
Absolutely. I mean, one of the things I was really excited about, I'm geeking out about Concur now, but is within the travel policy.
Yeah.
So merging Joule, the user assistant, with booking travel, I think that's going to be really exciting and powerful for people, because it will know what everyone's travel policy is.
That's right. That's right.
Because do you know what a travel policy is? I don't.
No, I know it after the fact, unfortunately. and that you're right, because It's just human nature, right? If someone has to book a trip, they want to go somewhere, I know what I want to do. No one thinks, oh, let me go click on the portal, let me see what the travel policy, what is allowed, and so forth and so on.
It's like, can I expense alcohol? What's
That's
that?
right.
It's just even small things.
It's a little
But
thing.
that information will make the lives of the traveller so much better.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But is it, I mean, there's elements of AI within all that.
Yes.
But is AI the be all and end all?
No, it's certainly not the be-all end-all. It's an element of how we continue to drive innovation, deliver, like I said, greater compliance, a better user experience, and have the system, as we like to say, have travel expenses and invoices practically manage themselves. And the key word there is practically, because it's practical for one organization who's very compliance-centric, they could be in financial services, or another that's in the technology space, is they let the companies define what's practical on their behalf, what they're comfortable with. And with AI and those capabilities, you can have that opportunity to define what's practical.
Yeah, because it's not one size fits all.
It's never one size fits all.
And another really interesting development is all about the partners that we work with. And one of the key ones is MasterCard. Can you tell us a bit about that?
I tell you, I am super excited at the MasterCard partnership that we're engaged in. Tremendous opportunity there. Now we have the opportunity to have real-time authorization data. So when you or I swipe our card, just as we do in our personal life, get the notification, hello, you were, at Costa Coffee, did you do this? Now imagine you're traveling on behalf of your organization, you swipe your MasterCard or use your virtual card on your phone, and you immediately get a notice, hey, this looks like a business meal. Did you have any attendees? So right in the moment of spend, we have an opportunity for the end user to go, oh yes, I was out with Alistair, we had a coffee, and which is in policy, and I'm going to expense it. So it brings a whole new level, first, of rich data into the system, and second, it brings it in at what we call the moment that matters most, when that spend is occurring. Not when I get home and say, okay, I went to Costa Coffee with who was there, what was the purpose, and so forth. So we're super excited about the relationship, and that's just one example of the many things that we're exploring with MasterCard.
And I was just thinking when you were talking there's two elements I like to dig into, just briefly. One is the duty of care element, because that's something that a lot of companies forget about, but all this rich data, having it at the travel manager's fingertips or whoever it might be, a large or small business, it's also knowing where your employees are.
Absolutely.
And that's the additional benefit of these sorts of solutions.
It's all about the rich information we continue to capture. First, minimizing keystrokes. Keystrokes introduce errors in the data and so forth, as was mentioned with the expense example. Second, imagine that, extrapolating that data to duty of care. Hey, Chris was just in Piccadilly, Costa Coffee with Alistair. Hey, there's a flood because water main busted and so forth. Yep. Got to make sure Alistair and Christopher are okay, and so forth. And it's just another data element that we can put to use on behalf of our customers. And I'm sure there's scenarios we haven't even thought about, even today.
That will come up.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Brilliant. I think we're running out of time now, but what's one or two things that you're looking forward to later in this year that's coming from Concur?
Later in this year, so excited about the new Concur Travel. Bringing capabilities with Amadeus, Travel Fusion, and so forth, delivering that rich experience, and then ultimately combining it with AI to deliver the experience that employees expect from their corporate technology that they use every day. So I'm super excited about the new Concur Travel that we're bringing to market.
And it's just going to make travel so much easier
Absolutely.
for our customers, and alongside expense.
Absolutely.
That's great conversation, Chris. Always good chatting with you. So thank you very much for your time, and I hope everyone enjoyed our conversation.
Thank you, Alistair. It's been a pleasure.